Yo, what's going on? It's your man Hanley from On the Line With. It's been a minute, almost a month. The last one I did with details. Tonight we're doing Car Chats, episode 87, I believe. We got Imperative coming in from London, Ontario. He's one of the dopest beat makers I've heard in a minute. So we're going to talk about all the things he's been doing, the albums that have dropped that he's produced, some of the bigger artists and established artists that have done the work and done work on Imperative beats. So I hope y'all ready for this one. One of the dopest beat makers in Canada right now. I put that on 10 toes. So just waiting for him to jump in and we're going to get it popping. So yo, shout out to The Preacher for joining. What up, my man? Fat Mama's Kitchen LLC. If you're in Atlanta, go hit up my guys for some dope food, dope catering. That's my man, fucking Demo from Atlanta. Go check him and his wifey's business. Episode sponsored by my man Falvia Navarro out in New Mexico, Hobbs, New Mexico. Diamonds Rising. Go check the merch. Tell him I sent you. Get that discount code. And yeah, let's get it popping with Imperative. He just joined the group. And I'm ready to talk to him, man. This is long overdue. Let's go. What up, Big Breezy? We're going to get into that conversation with you. We could possibly do it tonight. If you're free, let me know. Just waiting for Imperative, man. I'm going to send him a request right now. Imperative. What up, gang? You already know what it is, bro. I do this shit for the culture. My man.
What up, man? How are you?
Not bad. How you been? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You got significantly quiet there.
What's that? Hold up one second.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just like that old commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
You already know. So, yo, I let everybody know that I said that I got Imperative from London coming on. I told everybody how I feel, that you're one of the dopest beat makers that I've heard in Canada in a long time. I told them that you've got some established artists on your beats. You just recently dropped some dope-ass fucking albums. So, what do you want to start with, man? How would you start with who Imperative is and where he came from?
Man, Imperative. It's one of those things. The name kind of came around. I didn't even really know what it meant. Like at the time, I know what it meant, but now it like legit means like this shit is imperative. It's that must have. If you're an artist, you've got to have these beats. The fans, the supporters, they got to have these beats, the sound. I'm just kind of like a lighthearted person, but like the beats I make tend to be a little bit grimier and darker. Not all the time. It's just more or less what I'm known for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a nutshell right there.
You got that not old school. You got to mix like the vibes of today for the artists of the past.
Yeah, it's like a new wave sound. I mean, part of that kind of came from like when I started making these beats, like 2010-ish, is like that's what I studied. Like I studied the premieres, I studied the Dillas, I studied ski beats, Yay, and all of that. But when I was making those like boom bap beats and even like grimy beats, like I have beats with samples that were like on Griselda projects, and like, but the thing was like, no one wanted to use those beats when I was making them. In like Vancouver and out there, it just wasn't the vibe, wasn't the sound. So I had to adapt my sound, and my sound turned a little bit trappy at the time. But it gave me an understanding of like beat making on a whole and producing on a whole, and understanding of like a vast array of sounds and how to compose all of those together. So now when it's like, full circle, I'm able to put out the music that I want to make, and I'm able to add, interesting spins on it that maybe like other producers who are just sample-based producers can't. I'm not knocking just sample-based producers, but like, I bring in people, like I get my Yay on, I get like a pianist on there, I get a guitarist on there, I throw in guitar solos, you know, if I could hire choirs, I would do that. You know what I mean? So, you know, Joe Siggs in the comments here, we just put out a track called Diplomats. It's both one of our favorite tracks on the project. And it's like, goes from this soulful like sample. And then there's like this huge, like, build up a piano and electric guitar in that, right? And I don't think if I just...
Do you have that track close by, right?
Yeah, I could.
If you want to play a little snippet so people get a feel, just if people who are in here following Imperative, I'm interviewing my man Imperative out of London right now. Go check him. He's got beats, man. If you're not following me, follow me if you're an artist. Even if you're not and you just like hip-hop interviews, I try to be consistent. Life's been a motherfucker lately, so but I do the best I can to promote, showcase art wherever, however, and if they're just starting or if they're long in the game, I've had people like on, I've had Illinois, I've had people that are starting. So like I'm there for everybody. As an artist myself from the past, I know how hard it is to find a platform just to promote your shit. You know?
I appreciate you bringing me on too. Like you said, this is well overdue, you know, and I know we're both trying to make this happen. I'm on my way out to a beat event right now. I know you got lots of stuff going on, but we made it happen, so I appreciate you. My hard drive, because I was trying to load beats, isn't here, but I'm going to play, I got it on Spotify here. So here's a quick sample of Diplomats with Joe Sig off Rome Was Built in a Day. Got hit with the sound that...
Yeah, right away. Woo.
Empty bottles on my cabinet, trophies out of madness. All my niggas know the story, either guts or glory. All my bitches know my status, we don't fuck with maggots. All my life I had this feeling, I was meant for begging. Took this house that I was building, gave it vaulted ceilings. I told niggas I'ma get it, you just wait and see. And watch the other niggas get it, wait.
I'm gonna fast forward to the piano and guitar here.
Yeah, shit is crazy. I'm really stacked. Years back, I think I look like the drunk they get popped. Dreams of my shit crossing over, make my ankles lock.
Here's the piano.
I can't think of staying local. Let's just say we not. We was piled up in the Regal, bumping Beanie Siegel. We was from the same cloth. I could thread the needle, moving junkies
and then
in
here's
and out.
the piano, then you got the guitar coming in.
Now we trying to break the bank until the balance hot. Mommy told me do what's right and watch the Lord bless you. I hear a voice and give me chills, it's like it's chord progression. Always strive to be myself and just ignore the pressure. Thinking about my life mistakes and go record the lesson. I'm the realest, not the illest, there's a big distinction. It's so amusing to my soul to see you niggas reaching. Ain't trying to be those guys, ain't on no pies.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been hearing some people say, like, you know, where there's this boom bap renaissance is right now, right? Like, it's starting to get a bit stale. I've been seeing that in the comment sections. I've been seeing that in the posts, and it's kind of fair. I mean, everything like can have its life cycle, but it's never going to go away. But it's got to evolve, right? And I can kind of see maybe that's going to be where the evolution comes into it, is going to be like what Ye was doing, you know what I mean? And throwing in those bridges and making it a little bit more musical in sense of like adding stuff, right? And adding the pianos, adding the guitars, adding violins and whatnot. So, but that's something I really like to do myself.
It seems like you're not picky. Like, you'll try an instrument, and if you like it, you like it.
That I definitely hear that. Like, I know who was it? It was someone from Souls of Mischief, and they were talking about their favorite track to perform, and they said that they were a sucker for horns. I love piano. You know, like I was saying about the other day, like I don't have a ton of beats with like they're just like straight violin samples. Like, you know, when you listen to like Jizza Liquid Swords, there's a lot of violin samples, right? Like
I just watched him in March perform all the Liquid Swords with the band.
Oh, that would have been fire. That was the Toronto show?
No, Ottawa.
No, you're in Ottawa, right.
Oh, and since it was such an intimate type venue, I was like at the front the whole time. Security was just chilling, like lifts and shit. Dude, I didn't care. They're like, yeah, whatever, fuck. Like,
No, that's fine. I wish I got to the Ghostface show. I saw Wu-Tang at Rock the Bells. Fuck, I want to say that was 2012 or 2013 in LA.
yeah.
It was pretty fire.
So how long have you been making for?
I've been making beats for like since 2010, so it's over a decade now. This is when I like started releasing music. When it was like 2013. I think I can trace back some of the first releases. So yeah, it's everything's kind of come full circle.
When you first made a beat and you gave it to an artist, was he a Canadian artist or U.S.?
Canadian artist. I was very lucky. I worked with an artist. His name was Jay West, and we had like.
Familiar with him.
What's that, sorry?
I'm familiar with him.
Yeah. He's not rapping anymore. He kind of left it behind in 2015. He can still rap his ass off though. But yeah, we started putting out music in 2013. I met him at Stroker DeLuca's studio in Vancouver. I got invited over. I got invited over as like to film, like because like I did like media stuff, and I was like, yo, I make beats too. And I heard him rap, and I'm like, yo, this is like he had bars, he had flow, he had like that OG sound, and so we did our thing. The first track we actually like put out was called Blessed, and actually that same beat is gonna be re-released. With Blocklord, I think he's still in the chat, but like it's crazy that it's like almost 10 years later, a decade later, it's gonna be the same beat. It's gonna have a few tweaks in there, but it's more or less, so I picked up pretty quickly, and I feel and was making some pretty solid fire back then even.
Yeah. So you started in 2010. How long did it take for you to get that like feeling of like, yeah, this beat is definitely for someone?
I think it was like 2-3 years, but like, and that might sound fast. Or it might sound slow. I don't know, but I definitely put that 10,000 hours in. You know what I mean? You know, when they say it takes 10,000 hours to be a master of something.
Bro, you still do.
I still do it, and I'm still learning all the time.
Like, I don't know you like that. Like, I mean, like, I followed like your stories for the last few months there, like half a year. What? Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's crazy that. Sorry, I lost my train.
That's okay.
What was? Sorry, just fucking people in the neighborhood all the time, man.
Yeah.
This is why I'm like, should I do this in my car anymore? Like,
I mean, it's summertime too. You can't have those windows up. You'll start,
no, I have the whole door open. I'm smoking in the whip, and I am.
I think you were asking like how long it took. But we were saying 10,000 hours. Then you're saying you've been watching my stories,
and I've been following your journey for the last like maybe 6 months, maybe a year almost.
Yeah.
Shout out to Billy. She put me on to you. And
yeah, Billy's been a supporter for a minute.
She's definitely a Canadian hip hop lover, bro.
She's good people. Good people. She was getting her. She got her son like a MIDI controller, and I offered to like get on a call with him and like walk him through it and teach beats, and like because like that's me. So before music, I was a skateboarder, snowboarder, did competitive snowboarding, and I worked at snowboard shops. And one of the biggest things for me is like I love getting younger people into it because I know how much that those things gave to me, and I know how much music is given to me. So you got people joining?
Did you end up doing that call?
I haven't. No. I'm sure her kid, he's like wants to experiment. Kids want to experiment with everything, right?
They think good all by themselves right away. But
yeah, and they're either if they're good, they're good, and if yeah,
it's a good age to start if you ask me.
Yeah. Any age, man. It's if it gives you something, right?
Thank you, man. You don't hear that enough in these conversations. I'm not shading any of the artists that don't say it. You're not obligated to fucking say it. I know a lot of them feel it. They just get to mention it. But see, you seem like a very observant person, and you seem to be you're more understandable than most. Like you understand like situations don't always go as planned. You understand I'm sure you had instances where you had a plan for a beat to be used by someone and it falls through.
Yeah.
You know, like, you seem like very understanding to people, which is genuine in art days, because a lot of them are so focused on the bag, and their time is money. Yeah, like, your time is money if you're making money. Okay, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not,
You know, there's like, you know, time is money in that, but it's like communication is key. And we talked about this even in like, you know, comment section earlier, right?
Yeah.
Communication is like, things come up. We're all human. We all got things going on, right? Like you and I have never met in person. You know, we interact online, and that's the way, like, it's kind of the new way things are. But like, you still got to understand that you on the other side are a person, right? And I'm a person, and like, you know, I've had rappers threaten me that they're gonna kill me on site because I didn't promote a song enough and shit like that. And but like, you know, some of the artists that are in here that I've worked with, Jay Roberts, Joe Sig, Blocklord, they all know I'm about communication. And like, you know, a lot of these people, like, we've even, like, I don't want to say we've had like, like we've had creative differences per se, but rather than getting pissed off or upset and that, it's like we have a conversation and we work it out, right?
Yeah.
And we move forward, right?
Exactly.
But too many people want to be like, it's my way or the highway, and I mean, a lot of it comes
I'm a
from,
boss.
I think, however
Boss. Like, you know,
yeah.
it's like, bro, I made the beat. I made the beat independently. I wasn't making it for you. I don't have a boss.
Yeah, I mean, and like, I think I saw C-Lance post something about this too, and like, C-Lance, I think, and I are very similar in a lot of ways.
My guy,
is that, was that?
shout out my guy C-Lance.
Shout out C-Lance.
Very very kind, sweet dude, man.
And I think we're very similar in that sense. Is like, we know where we come from. We don't need to pretend that we're anything we're not, right? So, what up, Montreal? I'm actually in Montreal next week.
How long are you there for? If you have a whip, you can come down to Ottawa quick and check.
I'll see. I'm down there to visit a friend that's out. She's out from Vancouver, so we're just visiting. No set plans, but I'm driving. It's gonna be 9 hours, so we'll see how it all goes.
Bring her along. She can kick it.
Yeah, I'll see what's up. I'll let you know like next week what the plans are. I gotta get through this work week.
If you get here, maybe I can get there if I find a ride share.
Yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Because I'm from Montreal, and I was just there in the beginning of June. Linked up with a lot of art, like the ones. Someone else that asked to hold on.
Yeah, I saw someone say what up from Montreal. I see DJ Rossi Ross is here. He's from Montreal. I put out my first track this year with the Montreal artist Slick Jack.
Yeah, his new album is dope.
This is hip hop. He's got a track on there too. So we both worked with Slick Jack. I really want to work with Chung from Montreal. She's killing it right now.
Word. Oh, I have to check her. I don't think I'm familiar.
She's fire. She's really dope. I really want to get something with her. The homie Jordan Commander put me on like way back, and like I should have jumped on it back then. I had too much going on and I couldn't get in. But now she's done stuff with Nicholas Craven. She's done a lot of big stuff.
Have you heard of Funklow?
Someone put that name over to me recently because I was asking. I have like, this is hip hop. I was gonna laugh here. I've been making these beats in this like Larry June Alchemist vibe. I don't want to say like type beat, but like I heard these samples and I like, it's like really summer smoked out vibes. And I was like, yo, I need artists like Larry June, like Currency, like, you know, Jay Worthy, and someone sent me Funklow was one of them. Yeah,
because I'm a big fan. Like when I was at the Jizza concert, the opening support for him was Raz Fresco.
Yeah, Raz is dope.
Yo, Raz is fucking dope, bro.
He's been around a minute too. People I think don't realize
he's underrated, bro. He doesn't even get mentioned when people talk about hip hop in Canada.
He's got. Here's the thing about Canada hip hop though, and I'm gonna say this: Canada hip hop, because of how big Canada is, when people talk about Canada hip hop, they're like talking about the province.
Yeah.
Like so and so is the best in Canada. It's like you don't even know who is outside of your province. They're good in BC, you know what I mean? Like, and like I lived in Vancouver, BC, and I'm living in Ontario, right? And so like I'm part of the Toronto scene and part of Vancouver. I know some of the Alberta scene. I know some of the Montreal, but I can't tell you like who is who in every single province. It's just too big. It's too many people, right? So it's ignorant of people to be like, so-and-so is the best in Canada. It's like, no, like you don't even know anyone outside of your own province, let alone like your own city.
Like, have you checked the cities next to you? Like,
That's
even,
just it.
like
Like,
in small towns, have you checked the small towns next to you? Like, chill out, bro. Like, get a little more educated before you make an uneducated fucking opinion.
There's so many people too. There's a lot of artists that aren't even like focusing on Canada. And like I even made a comment earlier to A1 from Vancouver because he was talking about his monthly listeners and stuff like that, and how most of his listeners actually came from the States. So do mine. Is like Canada doesn't support hip hop like the States does. Now on the other side of that is the States does have a larger population, so they just have more people. But the States have a larger urban community, and you know, of course they're going to support hip hop and rap more, but there's a lot of artists in Canada that don't even focus or care about Canadian fans or supporters because they're just getting it from the States, right? Like,
it's like back in like when I started in 2005, 2006 when I was young, and then I stopped in 2014-ish. Maybe I have a hard time remembering if it was 2012 or 20, but either way, like I did it for quite a few years. I got a lot of like dopes memories from it. Like I did some pretty good things with it. Like, not fucking rich, obviously. I didn't do good, but like it was enough that like at the time people recognized you. You know what I mean? And like now there's so many people because of the internet. It's hard to get recognized like that. You know, like you really have a dedicated fan base that's like, yo, I'm gonna any pre-save I got it. Any like running it up, I got it. You know, any video or visuals, I got it. Anything, any promoting the beat site that you sell your beats on, I got it for Imperative. There's so much more work to it than people don't realize.
And I mean, now, like compared to the way things were, I think there's a lot of new ways, but we're still like getting into this and exploring this of like making money. But like a lot of the old ways, like vinyl is back and big right now. But I see everyone's doing vinyl now, so vinyl's starting to decrease again, right? Because people are like, okay, we're also like, this is gonna be something we're gonna talk in the history books, but like we're in a recession, we're in a depression right now, and they're not talking about this enough, right? And so yeah, like people are. I've even stopped buying vinyl right now. Like I like you can see my collection back here, right?
Yeah.
And I was on that shit, but
I have vinyl upstairs too, bro.
I had to throw my shit back, but like we gotta find new ways, creative ways. I mean, even shipping. Like I know media mail went away, so that makes it more expensive to ship vinyl and cassettes and that. But even like T-shirts, like I was doing what Griselda was doing, and like I'm not gonna try and front like I wasn't trying to copy their business model at all. It worked, right? If something works, like follow that. So I was doing my merch on Champion tees and Champion hoodies. The hoodies went well, but for the T-shirt, once you get into shipping and that of a Champion T-shirt, it comes to like $100 T-shirt, and I can understand why my following and feel like they don't want to pay $100 for a T-shirt. I get that, right? So I'm gonna scale back. Someone wants to. Well, they want to check my samples. They're trying to. It's all shit in the front though.
But we definitely need to figure a way to get one of those Imperative hats or something artists while we're building.
For sure.
Even if you have a vinyl that hasn't been tossed yet, let me know.
A vinyl that hasn't been which, sorry?
A vinyl that hasn't been bought yet, let me know.
I still got vinyl, man. I still got the Under the Scope vinyl.
Like I said, like financially right now with the whole thing with my Dukes and shit, it's hard, but if you let me know a price and I could work up to it or something, or we figure out something else some way, whatever the case is, we can talk after. But like, I want some Imperative on that artist wall, because like this conversation right here is a conversation I feel that could go on for like a long time.
We could definitely check Yo, you get me started talking. I'm a quiet guy, but you get me talking, I'll talk.
Bro, like that's what I mean. Like I feel like we have like similar views on hip hop. Like not to bring it up on the live. I know people hate doing this, but how old are you?
Shit. I'm 37 right now. I'm 38
Okay,
this year.
so you're a few years older than me, but we're from the era that the music was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, like I posted. You saw the post on my Facebook earlier. It was like people that listen to '90s hip hop or whatever, and it's an arrow pointing at the like button. And like I have like so many OGs and old heads on it. And I'm like, word up, like
I came across an old like classic. Like I don't try and claim to be like a hip hop like historian by any means. I don't know everything from like but I came across. I'm trying to find this. Hang on, bear with me here. I want to find this album, and I had never heard it before, and I bumped it while I was at the gym last night. I was like, "Oh, Company Flow." I'd never heard Company Flow before, and that project is fire. Fun Crusher Plus. That shit. If you ain't heard that, because I'm new to that, and I'll admit, I'm not saying I slept. I just didn't know.
Who is it?
Company Flow. Fun Crusher Plus. This project is fire.
What year is it from?
1997.
Word. I've never heard it, man. To be honest,
I hadn't heard of it either. But this shit, this is a classic.
I like their name and I like the track type.
Yeah, man. Look, like the guys in the comments know. But like, I'm being straight up honest. I hadn't heard this before, and I bumped this in start to finish while I was at the gym. And this shit sounds like like this is like Griselda in '97. So
Yeah, man, and it's crazy. So before Tim cuts us off, because I don't know how long we've been talking right now, and it cuts you off at an hour. So I'll ask you one or two questions, and then we'll have you back whenever you're free next.
For sure, man.
Because this conversation could honestly go on for a fucking minute. I think maybe you should come on. I have a full-length podcast too. The On the Line with moniker is for the main podcast.
Yeah.
So full-length podcast. I've had Junk. I've had Chocolate. I've had Wordsworth, Master Ace. I've had tons of people on the show.
Hey, the imperative name is worthy of being up there with them.
Hell yeah, bro. But the concept is different. We talk about you personally and your journey, and we do a whole mental health and illness conversation.
Hey, I'm with it.
They monitored me, the hood therapist.
Hey.
I mean, I don't like using it because I'm like people are gonna look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what is a hood therapist? You just sit outside in the projects and help people? Like,
what? You start showing me the rose art diagrams and shit. Tell me what do you see when you look at this?
Yeah, and then they look at mine. I'm like, what do you see when you look at this? They're like, is that the Nas Magic album cover?
Yeah, that one should be fine.
Yo, Magic 2 is gonna be dope. He got 50 back on a track.
I saw that. It's the big news in the social media today.
I figured you saw it, so I don't know why I said it.
I think the West Side album's dropping too, or soon. I don't know. He always throws his stuff around.
Yeah, Fly Guy.
That's the thing we were saying, man. There's too much music all the time now.
Yeah,
you got the OGs, and then you got the new people coming up, right? Like
generation in between the OGs.
Yeah.
You know, like so some people we're OGs right now, and then we have our own OGs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so let me just ask a question about how like working with Benny the Butcher on the I forget the track name right now, to be honest.
Under the Scope.
Under the Scope. Did you get to speak with Benny himself, or?
No, I never got a chance to speak directly to Benny. He shared a couple of things. I spoke to Rick Hyde and I chat. So I spoke to Rick Hyde. When I went down to Buffalo. What was it, like a year ago almost now, for a beat auction put on by Beats Anonymous. And then I linked up with Rick Hyde, and then I just wanted to give him the vinyl, say thank you, get him to sign a copy for me. And then he actually invited me up to, which ended up being a BSF recording session. And everyone was there. Everyone was there except for Benny. El Camino was there. Heem was there. That's a whole crazy story. I'm not going to go into
Was there producer there?
No, they just had an engineer. They were playing beats. Like Rick Hyde was like, "Yo, I know you got them fire beats. Like, yo, come up." I was chilling there, and I'd been there all day, and I waited. I was like, "Yo, I could wait till like 4 a.m. and still not play anything."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave on a high note. I was like, "Yo, thanks for inviting me up. I'm a piece. We'll link back up another time." But it's that like showing face thing, right? Being there. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Rick Hyde, he's one of the newer members of BSF. Right?
He's one of the original. Rick Hyde is like Benny's. He's one of Benny's right hand man. Like he was a producer first, right? And he was Benny's producer, like one of his producers. And they started rapping, and like that's kind of how. Like it's funny when I got my first Rick Hyde feature for Bricks, is like people were like, "Yo, who is this?" Like, and like people were like telling you like you know, and then now they're like, "Yo, you were playing." I don't know if he's still here. Jamie Cuse, one of my engineer from BC, he was like, "Yo, I see what you were doing back then." He's like, "You were playing 3D chess."
Bro,
he's like, "You told me
playing
Rick Hyde."
Bro, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, he's like back then. He's like, I didn't no idea who Rick Hyde was, but now when this drops, he's like, I know what you were doing now. So,
man, the long game is the way to go with certain things, man. And I feel like in production, the long game is the best way. Like you might have to work here and be selling beats to people that like I don't think they're gonna do justice, but it's money in your pocket. But you know, I don't know if that's you sometimes, but
here and there, I try not to, because I mean, too often I get that stuff back, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then you get the like, you waited like a minute, and you're like hoping like, fuck, I hope I get something soon, and all of a sudden you get an email or you get an Instagram message, whatever it may be, and they're like, yo, you still got a beat or a beat that I could use, and you're like, yeah, I've been waiting. You have a vault full of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I started doing a bit of a thing where it's like, because when I'm digging for samples, it's like I fall in love with the sample. I get attached to it. And when I flip it, it's like I'm attached to that. So I always hate selling those beats. But like kind of making more trap composed stuff, like, you know, it's a little bit more of a mathematical formula. I don't get as attached to those ones because I know I can make 100 more because it's all a mathematical formula, right? But like for samples, you might never find that chord progression with that grit, like with that mixture of like, because it comes as is, right? So that's why I think I fall in love with my sample beats far more. Like, but when I make composed stuff from scratch, I'm like, okay, selling those, but I just don't have enough time. There was a time where I was like, I'll just make composed beats and then put that on BeatStars and say fuck it and just like lease them for $25 just to make that side passive income, right? But I just put too much time into what I actually love doing, and I think that comes out in my music. Is like I do what I want, right? Not because I have to, not because I think I have to. I just do what I want.
So for that, before we end this, I'm gonna just ask for the Under the Scope record. When you sent it to them, did they ask for anything to be changed or?
Nah, I mean, no, they just like. Rick was like, yo, this is fire. And it came back and the verses, I was trying to change because like at the time it was like intro 16 and it just kind of ended. And I really wanted to like butcher coming N-word, right? But like there wasn't an outro. So he did a butcher coming in the middle, like as an ad lib, but I didn't get that like signature. And I was like, yo, I was trying to get him to add after. It never happened. I was trying to like AI vocal sample that shit. And I was like, nah, it just doesn't sound right. It's not natural. So I left it, but it's all good.
Man said I had to put my hat back on because I look like a lawyer.
Right, like a lawyer?
Yo, but what are you going to say if you need a lawyer one day and I actually am a lawyer?
Better call Hanley. Better call Hanley.
To be honest, bro, my first few years in university and college was to be a lawyer.
Hey, lawyers are making better money than a hip hop producer. That's for sure.
Brother, lawyers make fucking bags, okay? Like when I did shadowing in a law firm, and I was just doing like clerical shit, and like they'd be giving me paperwork that like for finances, and I look at it and I'm like, these guys are getting everything paid for, B. Like everything they make is just straight pocket.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. But like, yeah, I'm not a lawyer. now I'm a fucking broke media guy trying to get back into my rhyming game.
Hey.
But that's what I was gonna say. Like I've been telling a lot of producers that I said, I'm like, yo, I'm probably gonna try and get a third beat. I'm gonna send you what I stopped on, like my last few tracks. I have a playlist on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I sent it to people, but it got leaked by Natasha Marie in Montreal, SMH.
Damn.
It was supposed to be a secret.
And it got leaked.
Yeah,
Damn.
but it's all good. You know why? Because it got a lot of love. It sounded like that era, like that Dipset era kind of other shit. So,
Yes.
no, I was on that when I was doing my thing.
I'm seeing comments here about the lawyer thing still. So me and an artist, Jay Roberts, we were actually trying to deal with a lawyer on a bit of a situation. I haven't talked about this like publicly, so you're getting this like, and I'm not gonna drop too much, but like, there is a certain radio station out there that should be paying artists royalties and good royalties, but they are using a loophole and not paying artists these royalties. And so we were dealing with Sound Exchange, which is supposed to gather, and they're like, oh no, like it's this, right? And I'm like, no, like it's not like that. And then just going off like, no, we're not gonna investigate it. And then I actually got emails and I redacted shit so no one got in trouble. I wasn't throwing anyone under the bus. I'm like, look, they're saying that they pre-record on this day and they release on this day, so it's not a live DJ set like you're saying, but that's their loophole. And they're paying, like, they haven't paid artists like millions of dollars, and somehow I'm like on the forefront of this, me and Jay Roberts, and like if it all comes out, I could be one of the most hated men by that like radio station, because they'll owe artists millions of dollars in royalties. But the thing is with the lawyer, like we gotta find a lawyer that's willing to do it, because the one we wanted to, like, I was talking to, he like wanted to charge us $850 just for a letter, and that's like,
bro, that's what that money goes to all the time. When I was shadowing, like they come in for the courier and shit like that. They charge, it's like a fucking crazy charge, like $450 for the courier, the letter being typed up and then printed. Like, bro, I could go to Staples and print it for 10 cents.
Yeah, I should just get ChatGPT. The only thing is I just don't have that lawyer in my name. I could get ChatGPT to write the whole fucking letter.
No, I have a connection to an actual music lawyer that I use to pack things for my duo and shit. So I could talk to him and ask him to link you.
This shit's like it's a class action. Like if there's like a young hungry lawyer, it's a class action, and there's money there. It's like millions of dollars of unpaid royalties.
Is it a radio station that's underground, or is it established?
It's up there.
Like Canada?
I'm not gonna say more. It's not Canadian, but it's up there. It's like for the biggest of hip hop.
Can you fill me in behind the scenes?
Yeah.
All right. That's enough for me.
I just don't want to like I said, like,
no, it's cool, bro.
All the DJs are cool. They just don't know that they're not paying.
We don't rat.
Yeah.
Not lie.
But we get our money.
We don't rat.
We get our money.
I don't rat at all, but none of us rat. But yo, so what's one thing you'd say to upcoming producers who've been following your work? What would you tell them?
Quit. No. Just put in that time. Just put in that time and do what you love. Don't listen to other people. I mean, just learn. But like, make the music you want to make. You know what I mean? But put that time in. Like, I still find myself, watching tutorials, reading articles and stuff like that. But like, just put in your time, and it's just like it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Right.
Like, I do this shit because I love it, right? And like, I probably lose money on making music. I've made some decent money with music, but I'm not like making a living.
Right.
But I pour every extra dollar I have into this shit because I love it. So I want to leave behind a legacy. I want to leave behind something where people are like,
passion. Right? So it's
exactly.
It's hard to put out a flame like that, but like sometimes it does happen. Like my hiatus, my flame got put out, but I'm coming back. Like I said, I'll send you the shit that I have, and you'll see what I was talking about. I wasn't the best by no means, but I was connected with like aspects and shit in Ottawa, and like we did work. I did shit with like all the Broken Bridge members. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I'm not familiar with them. No, I'm familiar with the aspects though. I actually
King
opened up for Snack and the aspects.
Exactly. He's a bandmate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so coming on today, we definitely got to bring you back on and start where we were. So I make sure I know what we were talking about last, and we'll continue it. But yeah, bro, like I'm glad we did this, even though it seemed rushed. It feels like it was perfect timing. It was divine timing.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out Underground Hip Hop Blog for that comment. That's much love for that. I appreciate that, and I think that's one of the highest compliments like a producer can get is that, you know, when someone says that you have your own sound. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely love Griselda, influenced by Griselda. But like I said earlier in this like interview, is like I was flipping those same samples. Like I got beats with the samples on Fly God that I was doing back in 2013, just no one wanted to rap on them. I'm not saying I'm like an innovator by any means, but I like to think I have my own sound. So to have, you know, Underground Hip Hop Blog, you know, huge in the culture, recognize that's big for me. So I appreciate that. So
you've definitely made a lane for people that they make their own style on style that they like. So I definitely see that, bro. I've always I haven't said it to you before, but I've always said to people that I talk about music with, you're very unique, both in like how rare it is that you are as a genuine person. Like I could tell by like, I hate saying it, but by the post on like I could kind of read it as who you are. You know?
Yeah.
Script kind of, but you seem genuine and like you are unique in your style of beats that you make. So I'm very glad to have you on. Definitely gonna be a recurring guest because I feel like chopping it up with you is something that I would do even if I was. I'd be like, yo, you free?
Sure, yeah, we could chat about upcoming releases and shit like that. What's going on?
That'll be
current hip hop events and whatnot.
Hell yeah, well, that'll be the next focus, bro. So definitely let me know when you're free next, and we'll set it up. And just want to say, if you're not following me, please give me a follow. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers.
Follow.
Sponsor giveaway. Diamonds Rising, Fabian Navarro out in Hobbs, New Mexico. Thank you, Imperative, for coming on. If you guys aren't following Imperative, most of you are. All his people. You want to give him a follow if you're not already. Maybe the Montreal homies to follow you. And yeah, this is episode 87 with Imperative. Shout out my sponsor, again, Diamond Rising. I know we haven't done this in a minute, but we're back. It's been a month, so let's hit 100 episodes soon. Thank you, bro, for helping us on our way to 100 episodes, and we'll have you on again soon.
Hey, what up? Thanks for everyone joining. Catch us next time. I'm going to head over to this beat event now.
Have a good time, bro. Be safe, man. Don't get caught up in no bullshit.
Nah, we good here. Much love, man. Peace.
All right, man. Take care. Peace.